my dear listeners. I hope you've been well. I am back with fresh new episodes of From Rudyard to Ruskin, a series on podcast Azim Premji University. I hope you haven't forgotten me. I'm your host Aditi, and I'm here to walk you into a world of stories on nature. As you know, I select books that bring us closer to nature and its bounties. Though many of these books are for children and young adults, I think every grown-up can also learn from and enjoy these episodes, and also give a serious thought to what we, as responsible and empathetic human beings, can and must do for the planet. So let's do a quick recap of all that I have shared on this series. So far, I have reviewed books on seeds and leaves. I have let you in on the adventures of a pangolin in the jungle. I have read you notes from the diaries of a veterinarian in rural England. I have dialed into the secret social network of trees in the forests of Germany. I have shared snapshots of a dragonfly's journey in search of other dragonflies. And I have brought you glimpses of a few youngsters' endeavor to save the Dalai Lama's cranes in one of the farthest corners of India. Not bad, huh? What do you say? Are you ready for some more stories? Let's get going and talk about People and Wildlife. Now, the title of this book of short stories is so simple and self-explanatory. So, we have people and we have wildlife. And 10 beautiful stories from across India to illustrate the beautiful bond between humans and the birds, animals, and other species around them. This is a good book to read to children or young adults and inspire them to love and care for nature and wildlife. The stories are by 10 different authors, but each one is inspired by real life. Now, we won't have the time to get into all the stories, but let me tell you about a few in the nutshell. In the story Kadu Papa by Sujata Padmanabhan, Gundappa Sir tells children, do step outside the confines of your classrooms and houses. You never know what you might find right in your backyard. And true to Gundappa Sir's words of wisdom, this book does exactly that. It encourages the little ones to step out and interact with their environment. In the very first story, set in a lush forest in India's northeast, a Naga grandfather tells his grandson about the traditions of their tribe and how their people listened to messages from nature. He tries to reason with his grandson Modello to not hunt, a practice that many Naga tribes once engaged in. Teenager Modello is in a moral dilemma. Modello tells his Affuse, which is the word for grandfather in the local dialect, that hunting is a Naga tradition. In fact, not hunting goes against the Naga beliefs. But his Affuse explains to him that hunting back in the day was not done in an exploitative fashion. We didn't hunt everything in our sight, he tells his grandson. Only 10 to 12 people in the village would hunt. That too, only twice a year. Once, before farming and harvest, because the meat gave the folks the stamina for strenuous work. And once, when wild fruits fell to the ground, because the animals that ate those fruits were healthy. In the West, villagers in Charotar, Gujarat, coexist peacefully with mugger crocodiles. In Rajasthan, Ratanlal and his wife draw from the teachings of their religion to feed thousands of migratory demoiselle cranes from Mongolia. And in Kerala, recollections of their carefree childhood days lead a group of friends to clean up a river, bringing back the otter that once lived there happily. But it's not just rural communities that live harmoniously with nature. The book also features stories from big metro cities, Chennai, for instance. In the story called Turtle Walkers by authors V. Arun and Akila Balu, we come across Adit, the narrator, who tells us how he came to be so interested in turtles as a kid. Back when Adit was only 11 years old, he took part in the Turtle Walk organized by citizens and NGOs in Chennai. It was done to raise awareness on how olive ridley turtles are losing their nesting grounds as beaches in Chennai grow narrower by the day due to the uncontrolled growth of construction projects. Luckily, not all the efforts of citizens of Chennai to save these turtles have gone to waste. Over the years, members of the fishing community who live along the shores joined the sea turtle conservation efforts, and the community of the turtle people has steadily grown in Chennai. The heartwarming stories in the book have found beautiful expressions in Nayantara's illustrations. These illustrations help young readers visualize the wildlife, people, and their traditions. The range of stories is as diverse as is India, a country of many people, communities, cultures, traditions, faiths, customs, and rituals. And the beautiful wildlife we are blessed with makes our lives more complete and fulfilling. So that's all from me on People and Wildlife. But let not this be the end of your interest in people or wildlife. You don't have to wait to go to a forest or the mountains to know about species. You can just open the window and focus on that little butterfly or honeybee flitting in your garden. You can also stop at the pond in your neighborhood and watch the fish. Or, instead of counting your steps on the pedometer while you jog in the park, you can perhaps look at the trees that line the track. Make them a part of your life, your being, and pass this on to the next generation, just like any other tradition that you value. We have come to the end of this episode of From Rudyard to Ruskin. We are a part of podcast Azim Premji University. You can find us on multiple platforms: SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. To know more about Azim Premji University, follow the link below.